It's just like you can just see a chin come up and go.
I was
gonna say, I got a second camera, so I could do cat cam.
Cat cam. Everybody loves cat cam.
I was like, because we don't have enough streaming issues. We don't have add another camera. Screw it.
That's right. Exactly.
Let's add another 4.
Let's keep pushing until we break it.
So don't push it all. Is what you're
That's
saying?
right. Yeah, push it no further. Oh man. Hello everyone.
I am wired
on the
now,
internet.
so that's good.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
I don't know if I mentioned that last week, but in the haze of having my teeth yanked out, I've just wired all my internet back up again.
Nice.
Huzzah!
Nice.
That should help.
You say.
Ahem.
Oh yeah, and then the fucking bike that I got back
hey.
That's the other thing that's been keeping me busy.
You mean that giant bike that I somehow didn't notice?
Yeah, I have to bring it into a bike shop, not the one that I bought parts from that I was forced to, but a different one in the town over, so I can get the rear derailleurs and the front derailleur aligned in properly. Because I've got them aligned on the chain perfectly. I cannot fine-tune the fucking things to shift appropriately.
Oh, sure.
So finally I just called one of them. I was like, hey, I have everything installed. I just need you to finish tuning it. I cannot get it. I've watched like 6 different, YouTube videos. I've read all this stuff. I cannot figure it out. She's like, all right, yeah, we can get you in next week, Tuesday. I'm like, cool.
Heck yeah.
That's all I need. Don't look at the rest of it, just those 2 things.
Hi, Favor.
Howdy.
All right, you guys ready to kick this thing off?
Yes.
No.
A resounding sure.
The wettest of wet farts.
That's right. Welcome to the show.
High energy, we ain't.
That's right.
Fuck that shit. Why do you
Tired,
think
we are.
Energy 7 weeks is to get us fucking through the goddamn show.
That's right. Man.
I came back in from outside, and I turned the air back down, and my wife was like, it was already at 66. I'm like, I'm fucking hot now. I'll turn it back up afterward.
Yeah. All right. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always is Moonpier.
Howdy.
And the Nymph.
Hello.
Patreon.com/E1M1.
Them ones be numbers, my folks.
Don't forget to sign up there to help support us financially. You can get early access to a whole bunch of shows like We Work Like It and Critical Misses, along with exclusives. World exclusive. You can get access
it's
to
console exclusive. Thank you.
Console exclusive. You can get access to the Outcast. We record every week. It's the stuff that the non-video game stuff that's going on in our life. It is uncensored too. So if you want to just giggle about us swearing, we do plenty of that too. And you get at the $5 or higher tier, get access to the Critical Misses production meeting, where Moon and I sort of pull the curtain back a little bit to talk about how we pick seasons and what we're planning, and we do psychic damage to each other. We look at lists,
last minute adjustments, which seems to happen every month now.
Yeah. If you want to, almost every production meeting turns into this kind of circuitous route between we're definitely doing this for the next season, except, and then 45 minutes. So you can get all of that over there at patreon.com/E1M1.
1 equals digits, not words.
Moon, what have you been playing this past week?
Okay, so I played a hell of a lot of Weird West, which is our game club game, which we recorded and is coming out this week on the 3rd week of the month. Wink.
Wink.
Wink. Coming out completely on schedule.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely not the 4th week.
Maybe.
So definitely give that a listen in your ear holes this week to hear the majority of what I played this week, other than recovering from teeth issues and catching up on time at work. I've only played one of the game.
Okay.
I am the sacrificial lamb. Wait, no, that's We Rogue Like It. No, I am the sacrificial lamb
Mm-hmm.
because everybody knows the game I've been playing. It's Saints Row, the reboot.
Ah,
It wasn't a
Right.
sacrifice. It was just a choice.
you were voluntold.
Yes, I jumped on the pyre by choice.
I-
That's right.
Whatever.
Dude, I heard so many reviews about this game, and the first thing I thought of was, damn, that sucks that Moon bought that game.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't get it so far. Because
Okay.
myself included in this, I think we all have Coke bottle thickness, rose-colored glasses when it comes to the Saints Row franchise.
Mhm.
3 and 4, I would agree. I never clicked with 1 and 2.
So I did. I clicked with all of them in
Okay.
their own special little ways. I clicked with every single one of them. So 1, obviously, the traditional GTA clone, where it's just a bunch of gangsters and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
2, similar, but with the humor turned up a little bit.
Like turning into a satire at that point.
Exactly. And then 3 was just straight satire, and 4 was, well, screw it, what else have we got in our back pockets?
Yeah.
We can. No one's gonna tell us no. Let's do it all.
Yes, that was very much 4.
Now,
Mhm.
to be fair, I wasn't talking about like the story or anything. I was talking about all the bugs and issues that I've heard
Mhm.
everyone talk about. But
Yep.
continue.
I haven't had a single one.
Okay.
Nice.
There was
That's
just
good.
a lot of reviewers were talking about how they had like massive game breaking bugs that they reached back out to the company to and like, hey, is there going to be a day 1 patch for this? And they didn't hear anything back about it at all.
Yeah, a lot of crickets.
So yeah.
That doesn't surprise me because they've all been embraced. So, what
That's
you
true.
expect from... They're all too busy getting hugged to be able to give out press releases.
That's right.
Hugs
You're gonna do
better,
the
greater
Care
than
Bear
press
stare to
releases.
fix the bug.
That's right. Hugs, not bugs.
Yes, exactly. So how do I even start with this? It's a reboot of, in my opinion, a generation-defining franchise.
Yeah.
Like the 360 era, the PlayStation 3 era. I give credit where it's due. The 360 part of that makes it easy to remember what PlayStation it was because it was the one that began with the 3. Like
True.
those 4 games define that generation, as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Because somehow they all came out on the 360 generation. Number 1, that's weird.
That's wild. I could have sworn the first one came out on the original Xbox.
OG.
You're right, but that's a wild thought.
The only reason I know I'm right is because the first one had online achievements for multiplayer.
Of course it did.
Say hello to the one I don't have every single achievement in. By
Oh,
the way.
weird.
Strange how that happens.
Yep.
I like 2. 2 had this weird thing of... We all know 3, we all know 4. 2 is probably the most slept on because of its content. Because
and it had
I
really
played
wonky
it...
controls.
Well, they all had really wonky controls. I don't want to hear anybody say that 3 and 4 had smooth controls.
They were
no,
weird.
No, not smooth. Like 2, you were doing like the crab thing to get certain things to work.
Right.
3 and 4, they quote unquote modernized it better. So
Yeah,
that way,
a
if
little
you held
better.
down L1, you were aiming and you were firing with R2.
Yeah.
Not whatever 2 had you doing, but anyway.
Okay, fine, whatever.
It's no different than like tank controls versus 3D. I mean, if you were used to tank controls, it's nothing to complain about. If you had never had tank controls before and you played a Resident Evil game, you had no clue what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is true. But like I played through that game like 4 separate times in co-op, 2 specifically. And every single time I played with someone, the comment was always the same. Like, whoa, the swings on this. Because you've got a cutscene where you have chained somebody to the back of a car and you are dragging them across the road to now I'm going to take this septic tank and spray poop all over somebody's house.
Right, sort of famously.
Yes, those sound effects are still some of my favorite sound effects in games. They just got that perfect wet squishiness.
Oh boy.
sound effects in there. This feels like 2. So far, this feels like 2 to me. Because it's kind of running it a little bit more serious. But at the same time, it's got a little bit of the ridiculous in there too.
Okay.
I haven't, like brutally murdered somebody in a way that would don't get me wrong, I've murdered a lot of people in the game,
Officer.
but I haven't done any of like the really heinous stuff that you would do in 2 and even early on in 3, I would argue.
Mm-hmm.
With the writing, so the writing for like the script writing, the storytelling so far has gone from low middles to really high highs. Like it swings up and down so fast. It's like, that's a genuinely funny line. I'm gonna laugh at that. That's a genuinely funny line too. There's a joke that didn't land. There's another joke that didn't land. There's a questionable statement.
Right.
There's another joke that didn't land. Oh god, that's hilarious. Why am I laughing so hard? Like that has swung up and down so many times, and I'm just like, well, okay, this definitely feels like 2 so far, and it's very brown so far as well. I will say it takes place in the middle of a desert. It feels like because there's sandstorms. And
that's coming off of your favorite moment from 2. It's very brown.
Oh yes, 100%. But like when the sandstorms come in, you can't see 4 feet in front of you at all.
Okay.
Which is good because that's technically what sandstorms do. I will say it has like 6 different performance modes.
Oh geez, okay.
It's got like 1080 high quality, 1080 high frame rate, 1220 high quality, 1220 high frame rate, UHD 4K native high quality.
Does this come out for PC 4K? As well?
I believe
don't know,
so.
because I'm playing it on consoles.
Yeah.
It should be on PC. I'm guessing based on the fact that it's a multi-platform game.
Mm-hmm.
But it has all of that jazz in there.
That's cool.
So I just stuck it on 1220 high quality because credit where it's due. You can change that on the fly and you don't have to reload the game or anything that. It just changes it and continues.
Nice.
Because I was like, oh, I'm going to stick it in 4K mode. Okay, it's a little bit framey. It's a lot framey, I should say. And also, it's a Saints Row game. I don't need it to be in 4K because it's not like I'm dealing with photorealistic people here doing photorealistic stuff.
Yeah. It's not Forza Horizon, so you don't need it to look the best. Yeah.
So I bumped it down to like 1220 high quality mode. I got just the right balance of graphics versus moving the stick with the aiming. Feels better.
Okay.
It doesn't feel perfect. It doesn't feel great. It feels fine. It feels perfectly acceptable in a Saints Row kind of way, because if you think those games controlled well previously, you're lying to yourself.
You're misremembering.
Yeah, because the only time that you ever really shot in like the 4th one was when you didn't have like jumping powers.
I was at the beginning before you started punching everything.
Right.
And in 3, most of the time you ended up using guns that were AoE guns rather than like direct shotguns.
Right.
Direct shot, guns, not shotguns.
Right.
Because 3, I'm pretty sure it was 3 that had the dubstep gun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I still use as my alarm.
You need to aim for that.
Yeah. That's the whole point of the dubstep gun.
Yeah.
It just does its thing.
The beat. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so far, up and down writing, the game plays fine. The vehicles control fine. It looks fine. It's not bad at any of these points.
Right.
It's doing a decent job of telling a story so far. I literally just got to the point where I founded the Saints, and I'm about 3 or 4 hours in.
Okay.
So,
not too bad.
You have a crew who you share a house with. Okay. You're not going to make rent, so you knock off a payday loans place.
Okay.
As you do.
Yeah.
As you do. And the news radio said that's like the 7th time it's happened in 8 months. And it's like, well, apparently you don't make rent a lot, is what I'm hearing here.
Right.
And every single one of you basically works for the different gangs in town. So, like, you have a job with the marshals, which is the police. Your friend has a job with the idols. Your other friend has a job with I forgot the name of the gang. Los Conquistadors or whatever. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
The traditionally Hispanic gang in the game. Everyone's got a job for them, and then things go south, and then everybody basically gets kicked out of their respective gangs, and you decide to form your own gang.
Okay.
As the boss says, we're really good at this. Why don't we do it for ourselves instead of doing it for somebody else?
Sure. Good question.
It's a very good question. So they do. So they decide to do it for themselves. So I just got the church, which I'm pretty sure is almost a direct replica of the church from Saints Row 1 through 4.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, I'm working on it. I'm unlocking the miscellaneous crap that you can do. So I just opened a hospital.
Okay.
Which, to quote the game, only has to look legit enough so that we can file insurance claims.
All right.
Okay.
Tracks.
Yeah.
Fraudulent.
Not that much different from real life.
Exactly. But still. So I just unlocked pretty good actually. When you first open the hospital, you're talking to the person who's there, who is literally dressed in a nurse's outfit or a doctor's outfit with like the scrubs, the white coat and everything, covered in blood. And they're like, okay, cool. So I've got this little algorithm here that I'm going to press a button and it's just going to file a whole bunch of like insurance claims. So we can just get the big payouts on it and then make a bunch of money. And the boss is like, well, how about I just go throw myself in front of some cars instead? And they're like, no, I just got to press a button. I press this button and it'll do it. It's like, listen. You want to do it your way. I want to do it my way. And the lady's like, okay, you're the boss. And then it's like, okay, go do insurance fraud. I haven't done it yet. I'm on my way to do it right now because I want to see, something tells me it is, if the ragdoll effects are still as good as they ever were.
Yeah, the old school ones.
I've been hit by a car enough times to just get flung into a different century, so I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be fine.
Right.
But this is what I mean when I'm talking about like the goofy versus the serious. When you're trying to find a location for the gang to call home, you come across the church. When you get to the church, it's like currently being renovated by some dude. So you pull up and you're like, well, we can buy it. And then there's a bunch of construction teams out front. It's like, no, he's not going to renovate the church. He's going to renovate it into some condos. So we need to stop this. And it's like, stop the demolition crew. So you get in a front loader, which for those of you who don't know, it's that big yellow vehicles with the scoopy arm on the front.
Yeah, with the bucket in the front.
And it's like, destroy the demolition site. It's like, okay, cool. And it's like, LB equals raise front loader. Okay, so what? I'm going to put it under and then slowly raise things up and tip them over. Oh, no. It's spring activated and it just goes pow straight up as fast as it can.
Great.
So I'm driving sideways into these like construction buildings, like, you know, the old like trailers on legs that they have at construction sites. Driving into the side of them, hitting left bumper, and it is just barrel rolling into the sunset.
That's great.
Okay, you get it. This is Saints Row.
Like you nailed it.
This is incredible. I love this. This is fantastic. That dude who I accidentally got stuck on the front of the fork, padoing, off he goes into the sky. It's fantastic.
Love it.
And I'm doing that with porta potties and buildings and rubble and cars. The cops show up, and the cops are private security guys who are driving golf carts. So, of course, I launched them into the stratosphere. Because that's what I meant to do.
That's great.
It was fun. The very next mission is to go talk to the dude who owns the thing to buy the church. He refuses, so you scare him in a car.
Okay.
So it's like, here, do a bunch of drifts. Now do a bunch of oncoming traffic stuff. Now hit a bunch of jumps and do a bunch of barrel rolls.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, I guess.
I like it.
Sure, why not? Like, it goes from that to kind of like a little too serious on the flip side of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I got the church. I'm renovating the church as we speak. I'm rebuilding it up. Got to make it big and purple because that is the rules.
Naturally.
Phrasing.
Yep.
But I mean, it's weird. Like it controls how I remember Saints Row controlling, which when you get to 4 and you're inside the simulation and you can jump and do flying and gliding and everything else,
Yeah.
you never use cars.
Right.
Because what's the point in using cars when you could run down the street faster than a car and have that Matrix tornado of cars going behind you as well?
That's right.
That was the reason to run.
It's so good.
Exactly. In 3 and everything before that, the cars were all fine to control. They weren't anything special. They have their own particular way of drifting and turning and doing that quick turn when you need to. But it's all just fine. The thing that really stole us about, like, got everybody's attention about Saints Row was the charm and the heart of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, I've yet to see if it's got 100% of that running through the game, because it's like a 50-hour game would be my guess.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I've still got all of the side missions to do and all of the hustles and everything like that it always makes you do. One of the side missions in this game is to go to a restaurant, leave a crappy review, and then deal with the people who were sent to protect the place. So you literally go on a Yelp app and leave a 1-star review, and people try and kill you for it.
Great.
I love Saints Row 1 through 4. I genuinely do.
Mm-hmm.
I will be the first to admit they are not perfect games. 4 is probably about as perfect as you can get. 3 was great, had a whole bunch of charm. 4 was incredible for the places it took the series, but also because it became a Crackdown game that was good.
Yep.
Like, that was the thing that 4 did. Not even to mention the amount of people you meet while you're time traveling in the credit sequence of that game.
It's true. Forgot about that.
So I don't know. So far, it's fine. I'm enjoying my time with it, but I also really like 2.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where at the moment I'm saying, if you didn't like 2, maybe don't jump into this one.
Yeah.
And even then, you kind of can't. I'll be one of the first people to say it. I do not criticize people, or rather, I do. I do criticize people who are like, you can't remake that thing. That thing is classic, and I love that thing. I don't care. Go watch the original. You get upset about a bunch of Ghostbuster ladies? Who cares? You've still got your original 2 movies and an animated show and everything else you might ever need for that. Who cares if they remade it with a bunch of women? Like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. You still have the thing that you love.
Right.
And I still have Saints Row 1 through 4 to go back to, which are the things that I love if I need to.
And you probably play them on backwards compatibility on Xbox because you can play like 99.9% of games on the last 4 generations.
I was gonna say, I know
Saints Row
what was it,
4
2 was on gold.
Got a re-release.
Oh yeah, Saints Row 4 did get a re-release too.
Which true. I wish I could remember what it wasn't hailed to the chief, was it?
Re-elected? Something
That's
like that?
The one.
Yeah.
Saints Row 4 re-elected, which is
Remastered.
There was something called Hell to the Chief, though.
That was... There was like another edition where it was the base game and the DLC for the 360 or Xbox One and PS4, and then they remastered it and put it back out for the again. There's like 4 versions of 4. It's wild.
Yeah, and there's Get Out of Hell, which is also
Get Out of Hell. Yep.
Last generation Saints Row game as well, which I got about 10 minutes into and stopped playing. That's how little I cared about Johnny Gat.
Yeah.
Oh, but how could you forget about Agents of Mayhem?
God. Whoops.
Worst character in the franchise, Johnny Gat, by the way, folks. For those of you who were curious. I will admit, playing Saints Row makes me miss Kenzie.
Yeah, Kenzie was great.
Kenzie's like the best character on that. And my favorite thing about Saints Row 4 is when they go back and confront the past versions of themselves. That's such a good sequence.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing is great. But so far the game seems to be fine. They are using licensed music and they are going for it again.
Okay.
And by that, if you've played a Saints Row game, which arguably Saints Row was the game that did this, where it's just like, let's pick this one piece of licensed music that perfectly encapsulates this moment and force the players to listen to that piece of music during this sequence.
Yeah.
I apologize in advance for bringing this song back into everybody's brains.
Uh-oh.
But it's doing the tutorial, it's showing you everything, it's introducing you to the missions, the people, the stuff like that. You help out one of your friends. Your car gets its wheels stolen. Where are they? In Liverpool? Ha ha ha, self-burn. And then you deal with the people who stole your tires. But then the police hear you dealing with them. And of course, whoop, whoop, it's the sound of the police.
Oh, no.
Comes on the radio as they are tutorializing you about the police.
Of course
and
it
you're
does.
running away from them.
Oh, boy.
It's great. I love it. I know it's a bad joke, especially at this point. It's a bad joke. I don't care because I didn't know this. I had to look up the sound of the piece of classical music. But when you rescue one of your friends in a different situation, you get in their car and you're driving away. And they are a really big dork. So they like classical music, self-help tapes. Their car is a hybrid, that kind of stuff. And when you're running away from the scene of the accident in question, Flight of the Bumblebee, the classic piece of music, plays.
Okay. All right.
Which is like,
pretty good.
Okay, you got me. You got me. How many of these are you going to do? Are we going to have a holding out for a hero moment later on?
That's right. Does everybody get their moment?
That was one of my favorite moments in 3.
I think it was 3, yeah.
Everybody knows the power moment with Kenya's power jumping out the helicopter. My favorite one of those was the holding out for a hero to go and save Shanzi, yes. Like that was my moment of choice. They're doing it again.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. I will let you know in about 40, 50 hours how it turns out at the end.
Yeah.
Which, based on my game playing time, that's either going to be next week or 2 months from now. We'll see.
Right.
But it's fine. It plays well. It plays okay. It plays fine. It looks fine. I'm getting to the start of the charm. And to give you some aid in moving around, they do give you a wingsuit.
Great.
Cool.
2 thumbs up.
And my favorite part, they give you weather stations, which is just a big old tower. And just like the Assassin's Creed pulley and trolley system that they always give you in every game since 3, I think. You walk up to it, you put your foot on a metal bar, you shoot the crank, and the thing shoots you into the sky.
Great. I love it.
So you have a wingsuit too. I don't know. We'll see. Like I'm enjoying what I'm playing so far. Like it's very controller-wise, it feels very generic and fine. It's starting to show hints of that charm. Let's see if it carries it through the entire game. And don't even at me if you come at me with like Saints Row is perfect all the way around. The closest they got to that was 4.
Yeah.
Like there's so much wrong with the other games that I could don't get me wrong. I love them too. I do. I'm coming from the same place. Well, who cares if it's a reboot? Like it, hate it, whatever. Go back to the old ones if you're not interested. That's fine. But you know me, I'm not going to hold back if I think something is hot garbage. I'm looking at you, Saturday morning RPG.
Rage.
I always have to remind you.
Anger.
You always forget.
Oh, so bad.
Yes. That's all I've been playing is intro. Nim, take it away.
All right. So I've been out of the house a lot this past week, and I was looking for something mobile to play. At least, I don't know, not look or think about the real world and its ramifications.
That's fair.
So I came across a mobile game called Another Eden, The Cat Beyond Time and Space.
Oh, no. Okay. Let's talk about Another Eden.
So, this is actually really fun.
Hey, y'all like Chrono Trigger?
Yeah. Same developer, musicians.
Yeah. Same plot and characters, and hey, we just lifted everything from Chrono Trigger and put it in this mobile game. It's kind of wild.
So I want, and they fit in a gacha somehow. Which it's
Did
not.
they just do this because they couldn't get the rights to Chrono Trigger?
It's literally the main guy who worked on Chrono Trigger was basically like, no one, they let me make 2 of them. I still want to keep making them. So I'm just going to go do it and wait for someone to tell me no. I feel like he keeps looking around and be like, nobody's telling me no. How about we just put another character? It's a talking frog swordsman. Is anyone going to tell me no? No? Oh, okay. That frog's in there now.
I bet you it's a toad, not a frog.
Yeah, probably. He's like,
just legally distinct enough.
Yeah.
I'm on their website, and they have done a bunch of crossovers.
Yes.
One with Persona 5 Royale.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's currently running that I can do.
And one with Chrono Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tails.
Yep.
They're picking crossovers that also have cats in them to tie it together.
Okay. Yep. But why Chrono Cross if literally it's a Chrono... okay.
Yeah. The whole thing is real wild, man.
So, this game is not horrible.
Yeah.
It does not beat you over the head with the gacha mechanic. That's actually kind of just... It seems to be a thing that's there, and if you want to utilize it, go for it. When you first start, you do get a free 10 pull, which I used, and now I have a bunch of characters that I can throw on my party. The characters all look like the Bravely Default characters, with the tiny little chibi versions of them, and they got kind of hands that aren't really hands and feet that aren't really feet.
Some
kind
Final
of thing.
Fantasy VII business.
Yeah. And
don't dare insult my Blocky Boys.
I'm not. I love the Blocky Boys.
No, this is the next generation of Blocky Boys.
That's right.
But the main reason why I had picked this one to check out of all the other, I don't know, random things that you can play is the fact that it's just super simple. I did not want like a 3D world where I have to actually pay attention to play it. This one, you're on a 2D plane. You touch the left side of your phone to have your characters run to the left. You touch the right side to have them run to the right. If you have a path that goes up, you swipe up or you swipe down to go down.
Nice.
And that's it. Random encounters, they just pop up and you click on the icon of your character, select what attack for them to do, and hit attack, and they all go. That's it. That's all I wanted, was just something simple.
Yeah.
The story, like you said, it's a Chrono game.
Yeah.
In everything but name. So
yeah. It's wild, man.
And it looks really good. I'm just, like I said, I was always hesitant because it is a gacha game, and I'm always hesitant of gacha games.
That's fair.
This one, it legitimately just, it doesn't seem to matter.
Yeah.
So for me, that's a blessing. That's great.
Yep.
If anyone's interested, go ahead and check that out, just because it's not required. But I am on the third, I've gone into the future by 800 years. I've gone back into the past 3,000 years from your point of origin. And I'm trying to find my lost sister, who seems to be the chosen one. You're not the chosen one.
Okay. That's
you also don't have amnesia, so that's like 2 marks, downgraded right there.
Right.
You do have random cats that you find throughout the game. You have a cat that follows you.
Nice.
Randomly, I don't know why. When you first log into the day, there's a cat with a mailbag and a messenger hat that comes to you to give you your daily login bonus.
Great.
And when your character gets knocked out in battle, your character will fall over onto the ground, as they do, and a little cat will come up behind them and then grab their feet and drag them off screen.
That's really good.
So,
man.
It was fun enough for me to pick up, and I want to kind of keep playing it just because it's just simple enough for a mobile game. That's all I need. I don't need Final Fantasy 13 on my phone. I just need something that's easy to get into and play.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's all I have to say about it. It's fun and it looks good and it's free.
Yep. Can't go wrong.
Speaking of fun, looks good and is free, I jumped into Genshin Impact briefly. Only because their 3.0 update came out, which means that they have a new landmass. Oh. So they have the Samura land that just unlocked, which is like a forested area. Okay. And everyone gets a Dundro character for the first time. Okay. So there's lightning, earth, geo, electro, all that fun stuff, fire, pyro. I'm vaguely remembering as I'm saying them out loud what the names of each type is now. Right. So they had all of the elements except for Dendry, which is supposed to be nature. Or Dendro. I keep going back and forth, but either way, they never unlocked a class or a character that had that type of element this entire time until this 3.0 update came out. Now there is a quest that you can do, and you get a 4-star, the very first character of that type. Oh, nice. So it's supposed to just literally be, you start the quest and you get 5 minutes into it, and they just give you the character, and then you can continue on the quest. There is actually an option where you can go into the events and you can do there's a quick start option where it just gives you the quest. You don't have to do all the previous stuff. I highly recommend doing that if you were still playing Genshin and you want to do this, or if you just want to pop back in to grab the character like I did, because I was running into the issue where I was trying to find, okay, what is the quest that leads into this quest for me to get this character? Yeah, like where's the quest chain start? Yes. I could not find the start of that quest chain. I had, no exaggeration, 16 different tabs open of 16 different quests, and I still did not find the start of this quest chain to start this quest to get this character. Right. So just do the quick start. Ignore the warning that it gives you and just do it. I don't understand what they were thinking or what they were doing, but but I got the character and I kind of explored a little bit, opened up the map some more so I could see some of the areas. My kids were watching me check it out. I'm like, all right, cool. I might get into Genshin again in a little bit because I haven't played in forever. Oh, okay. But not today. I got too much crap going on. So. Yeah. But it's still fun. Still looks good. Yeah, I don't think they've really changed anything else, though, besides adding... I mean, they always have a bunch of events running, from what I've been hearing. And I still talk to a lot of people that play. I'm still adventure level, or adventure rank 56, 57. Okay. Which I'm at the point where everyone already thinks you're crazy, but I haven't hit the max, which is 60, where everyone tells you to go outside and touch grass. Right. Please play something else. Yeah. So one day, maybe next summer, I'll get back into Genshin. I just wanted this one character because it was the first of their kind. But moving on from Genshin, I played Destiny 2. Speaking of wanting to move on, and so I finally completed the quest so that I got Sweet Business. Okay. And my son was talking a good game about this weapon. So I was like, all right, I equipped it. I went out onto Earth to check it out, and yeah, it's a Gatling gun. Yep. And it's pretty awesome, and I hated that my son brought this to my attention because it's a 150 mag dump of I jumped into a public event which involves you protecting like a glimmer stash or something, and it's just waves of enemies coming at you, which was just me standing on top of the glimmer stash with my Gatling gun just mowing them down. Just dumping. Yes. That's great. Not even aiming, just hip. Yeah. Like, well, crap, now I've got one more thing to mess with. And then I got the Delicate Tomb fusion rifle. Yeah, that's the new exotic for this season. Yep. And then I got the catalyst for that, which I already did the first part, which was, I think it was just like beat like a bunch of enemies or something like that.
Yeah.
And now I'm at the part where I have to beat a bunch more enemies, but also do a bunch of events on top
Yeah,
of
I'm
it.
on that. I'm on that step now.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, it's not a bad gun. It's just
I haven't even used it yet.
it's just a chart. What is it? A fusion? Yeah, you just hold it down and charge it, and then it
Oh,
shoots
okay.
off like 3 or 4 shots once it's
Mm.
charged.
Okay.
It's not bad. It's just not the type that I like to use.
Yeah,
But
and a lot of it is. I know a lot of it synergizes with the new Arc 3.0 subclass revamp they just did, and I
Yeah.
haven't been playing too much with that yet, so I'll probably do both of those at the same time.
well, and then I found out that I can't use any of my grenade launchers because they broke grenade launchers, so they don't allow you to
Yeah.
equip them
They
right
disabled grenade launchers. They disabled heavy grenade launches across the game because in this latest patch, they were supposed to increase the damage they do by 20%, I think it was, and they increased it by 250%. So for the world's first race for the raid, they disabled all of them. They'll probably be back here in a couple days.
Oh yeah, I'm not worried about it, but it just sucks for me because I only use grenade launchers for my heavy.
Gotcha. Okay.
So like first it was the whole why can't I equip these now?
Right. Why is my light like 1300?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
it was like, well, I guess I'm just using Galahorn all the time then, because I don't.
There you go.
I don't have, like my son was even asking me, it's like I don't have like a preferred heavy or anything. It's just whatever happens to be good and seems to be fun.
Yeah.
What the grenade launchers I had were because whenever I blew something up, I had like the quick, the fast reload, the fast aim down sights, and the like extra wide area of effect or whatever when I was shooting them.
Sure.
So it's like, all right, yeah, I'll just do that because they're really effective, and it's just fun to just hear it go thump, and then just watch the arc go and blow up a bunch of things. So but now I'm just using Galahorn because like I don't have anything.
It makes
else
everything explode too. Like
yeah,
that thing's
exactly.
a blast.
I have become more aware of a lot more enemies becoming invincible, which is super annoying because it never seems to fail that the phase shift happens right when I shoot a rocket at them.
Yep.
Stupid annoying. But yeah, other than that, I've got my skeleton key. I'm unlocking things for that. I think I'm on level 3 of that. That's about it. I didn't even have the artifact thing for the last season. And I didn't realize it until my son pointed it out to me because it would keep telling me that I kept leveling it up. I'm like, all right, cool. And then I never thought about it until I went to go look at it one time and I still have the lock icon there.
Oh, right. Right.
I'm like, oh, I thought I just had it because it kept telling me I was leveling it up, but I guess not. So
yeah,
whatever. Now I have it and now it's working.
There you go.
Did you have anything you wanted to talk about, Destiny?
Yeah, a lot happened this week in Destiny because Season of Plunder, Season 18, launched this week. They also did a really big showcase for the new expansion Lightfall that comes out at the end of February. For anyone that hasn't been keeping an eye on Destiny, it looks super cool. You wanted some cyberpunk neon stuff in your Destiny, that's that expansion. They also announced that they are no longer sunsetting expansions in Destiny. So if it currently exists in Destiny, it's staying forever.
Cool.
So that's exciting. Season of Plunder so far has been really great because the previous season was everybody goes to therapy and everybody has PTSD from a bunch of stuff. And this season is, hey, y'all want to be pirates? It's like, yes, I do. So in the intro mission, you get your own catch, which is like the fallen pirate ships. And
I still haven't done anything with that yet. I was just told that I have it.
Yeah, and there's 2 seasonal activities. The first one is called Catch Crash. Essentially, your ship, when you go do this activity, enemies are attacking your ship, so you fight them off of your ship, and then you go jump on their ship and take out their captain. It is a lot of fun. It is one of the activities that I think they do really well, which is there's like 3 or 4 activities in this one zone, and it mixes and matches which ones you do. So you're never doing the same ones every time. You're kind of always doing 2 of them and then fighting a boss. So it keeps it a little bit fresh. And then the other activity is Expeditions, I believe, and that's a 3-person match-made activity that's kind of fun, where you go and steal a bunch of the enemy's loot. So you have like this little barge that you're throwing loot into, and I like seasons where Destiny is serious, but I really like seasons like this where it's like, all right, we're gonna do something real goofy this entire season. We're gonna be pirates. It's like, oh, okay, cool. I really appreciate that.
My son is super geeked out that the new hub has the Fortnite bus in it.
Yeah, we'll get to Fortnite here after this next one, but yes, the battle bus is in Destiny. It's really great.
Yeah.
But it's also like this real wink and a nod thing where like you can genuinely miss it if you're not looking for it, which I appreciate. The next raid came back this past Friday. It's the latest reprised raid from Destiny 1, so King's Fall is back. The semi-serious raid group, we went and did it on Friday. We did not succeed as we expected because contest mode is on, which is during the first 24 hours after a raid has launched. You are 20 power level below your enemies permanently. So during the raid race in the first 24 hours, it is hard. We did really well through the opening encounter. And we did really well through the first jumping puzzle, which is kind of a nightmare. And then we immediately got stomped, got our face stomped off in that first encounter, which is exactly what we were expecting. So it's not too much of a surprise. But we'll hit it hard this week and we'll make some progress. But very, very happy with how they brought, just like when they brought Vault of Glass back, they kind of gave it a new coat of paint and they changed the mechanics and the majority of it. They did the same thing here with King's Fall. Each and every fight has something pretty different with it, which is nice. So it's not just, let's go do that same thing again. But I'll talk about more about that over the next couple of weeks as we get deeper into that. But is that the last game you played this week?
No, I still have a couple more.
Okay.
But
you
have
no, you can go ahead. I'll talk
right.
about Fortnite in my section.
Okay. Next game, which is going to be a quickie, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I did make it to Chapter 6. There is a massive video to watch in between 5 and 6.
Okay.
I'm talking like Xenosaga. Or Xenosaga. Yeah, just couldn't think of it. Where there are points where you're saving in between movies.
The old classic.
Which, honestly, I didn't mind it then, and I don't mind it now. But and you can pause it at any time. So if you do have to get up and do something, you can pause it. You can then put your Switch in sleep mode if you need to, and come back to it later, which was not an option in Saga. So.
No. There was that famous message where it's like, this cutscene is over 45 minutes long. Get ready. It's like, oh boy.
Yeah. So there is a lot of stuff that happens, and it was fine. I enjoyed it, but it's been a long time since I've just sat there and thought, wow, they're really going for it, huh?
Yeah.
You do kind of a very, very, very light spoiler, but not to do with the story. They do have their version of a blue mage in this game that I've unlocked.
Oh, cool.
And it's really awesome, where you have to fight like the super elite enemies that get their own tombstones, the named ones. Okay. You have to fight them to unlock abilities, and you have to keep using those abilities to level them up.
Okay.
And
that's pretty cool.
The character that you get them from is really awesome and stupid funny. So I don't know what it is with people in blue mages, but they're never right in the head.
Yeah, I don't know why that's the trope for blue mages. That's weird.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it for Xenoblade. Still hunting for items. So.
Yeah.
The last game that I played this week is Soul Hackers 2.
Yeah, I just got my copy and I have not yet started this.
Did yours come with cards?
I haven't opened it yet, so I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Mine, I didn't even realize it was, but mine did, and they look really cool.
Oh, wow. Nice. For the video version, they're kind of, or for the audio version, they're kind of cool character cards from Soul Hackers.
I wasn't expecting them, so I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I probably did because I pre-ordered it, so I bet they're in there.
I did through Best Buy just so I can get the $10 gift card back.
Yeah.
Yeah, So anyway, I have started this. I'm not very far into it. I'm only 4 hours into it.
Okay.
The big story moment that I've gotten to is I finally unlocked a character, Labyrinth.
Oh, okay.
There is an update that came out day one that you should definitely look into, and it's with the camera.
Oh, okay.
The vanilla game has the camera right up there. So basically, Ringo takes up like the left portion of your screen, and then you've just got the rest of it being the camera, but like you're right up on her.
Like right on her back, and it's like, cool, I need to see more, thank you.
You don't really notice it at first, but I did notice that I wasn't really getting a headache, but definitely I was having kind of issues playing it for a brief moment.
Right.
And then I realized that I could bring the camera back out.
Oh, good.
And then I also realized that I could move her position from the camera from being on the left side of the screen to the center.
Oh, nice.
And that helps a ton, surprisingly.
Right.
So if you feel like you're having issues, go into the options and play with the camera settings. They have all the other normal ones of like adjusting, the swing speed and all that, and the motion blur, but those two in particular helped out quite a bit. So
yeah, I'll have to go do that.
Outside of that, though, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I was expecting it to be. And
it's an Atlas dungeon crawler.
Yep. I will say I think it's really cool that Ringo's character model, she has, when you see her, she has like these two black bars on her hips. Those are basically handles, and you grab either one of those handles she uses for a weapon.
Okay.
Down her leg, though, she's got like this diamond pattern that like spirals around her leg, and when she goes into a dungeon, she'll grab whatever handle grip that she's using, and that diamond pattern turns into that weapon. Oh,
cool.
And then just like disappear from her leg. And I was like, man, that is a nice touch that they didn't really bring to attention. And then just noticing it, because at first I was like, wait, was that like that the last
right.
But yeah, it's been pretty cool. The way that they've changed it with the demons is that you do not summon the demons. You were just summoning the abilities that the demons have. So really,
interesting.
It's not terribly different.
I mean, functionally, it's not that different, but it's a little different.
So when you're in battle, you still have, the weaknesses that, depending on the demon that your character has equipped, depends on what weaknesses and strengths they have, and the demons that you're fighting have those same things. If you attack their weakness, you don't get an extra turn or, an extra phase or however you want to think about it. You just get the stack. And the stack is basically at the end of your turn when all of your characters have gone, you do a seance. Depending on how many stacks you have, depends on how many of your demons do. It's basically an all-out attack.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay.
So if you can get it so that you have a 4 stack, all 4 of your demons will do an all-out attack on whatever's left on the enemy side, and for a good portion of the time, you can pretty much wipe out the enemies before they have a chance to attack.
That's pretty cool. That I like that modification of the like kind of press turn and advantage system. That's interesting.
And they don't. So far, there isn't like if you have a demon that is fire based. And you're fighting against something that like absorbs fire, that doesn't factor into the seance at all. It's just pure, I'll just say physical attack. I don't know what it's actually basing it off of, but it doesn't seem to be based off of the elements.
Okay, that's nice.
So far, like I said, I'm only like 4 hours in, so that could change at like any moment.
Yeah, but it's nice that you don't do a seance, and it's like, good job, you just healed them for 300. It's like, no, that's the opposite.
Yeah. It is still the normal SMT where it's like, hey, I just got 8 experience points and like 8 money,
right?
And everything costs 3,000 money. So
right.
You still have to kind of play around with that stuff. Trying to think, but yeah, other than that, I don't have a whole lot to say about it because I haven't had a whole lot of time with it. But I'm still enjoying it. I still like it. Everything's fully voice acted.
Oh, nice.
I kind of forgot about. I'm doing it in English voice acting. I enjoy the characters talking back and forth. They sound good. One of the women that you get in your party, her name is spelled Milady, but you pronounce it Melody.
Okay.
And it throws me off every time that I read her name because my mind automatically goes to Milady, and then you hear someone say Melody. It's like
and you're like, okay, sure.
But so far, it's all cool. I'm looking forward to playing more with it, especially with the labyrinths. Those seem to be your infinite dungeon kind of things that you go into to unlock different things throughout the rest of the game so far.
Okay.
There's also paid DLC for story that I have not bought yet because I'm waiting to see. A lot of people have said that this feels like something that should have been included with the game. I think it's $10.
Yeah, Atlas has been leaning more towards that lately, and I'm not sure how I feel about it because, like, for the longest time, back to like the DS, I think Atlas's DLC has always been, here is a $2 package that gets you a dungeon that gets you a bajillion dollars. And here's a $2 package that gets you a dungeon that gets you a bajillion XP. Like, you kind of pay to make the grind less if you want to, but the main game by itself is fine. Like, it's just, if you're impatient about maybe like the difficulty, then it just and that's okay by itself. But I've also heard that thing about this extra DLC of like, maybe it should have been in there by default.
Well, a lot of people haven't really got into it because the game has just come out. But you don't. It sounds like you don't. If you do buy that DLC, it sounds like it doesn't start coming into effect until you're around level 19, and it's leading up to mostly like in-game content of up to level 99 stuff.
Oh, okay.
Which a lot of people had said you don't need that content to beat the game at all.
Oh, okay.
But no one there, depending on who you listen to, there have been a couple people saying that, hey, this is like some story stuff that you should know, and other people are like, it's just in-game stuff that if you want to pay for it and do it, you can do it.
Just extra stuff. Okay.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
I'm kind of waiting for more people to end up having to deal with it to kind of see if it's something that I should pick up or not.
Yeah.
They've also got like the other DLC where it's like you get 3 demons for $12.99, which that's kind of
that's pretty pricey.
Yeah. And then you've got like the skull pack outfits where you get like the outfits from
all
the
their
Persona games and stuff.
Here's the swimsuit outfits and here's the winter outfits.
They don't have that, but it is mostly like here's like the school uniforms from like I think 2, 3,
Gecko
and 4.
Con High.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we'll see. But yeah, it seems cool, and I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah,
so.
I'm excited to try it to start playing it this week.
Yeah, so it does have an option for performance or graphics.
Great.
And it is the first game in a long time since being on current gen where I'm like, oh wow, this has loading screens.
Right. Are you playing this on PS5?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what I got mine for too.
Yeah. So I mean, they're not horrible.
Yeah.
But it's still like there have been a couple times where I started reading the paragraph of like, general tips or whatever. I'm not halfway through it before it goes away, but it's still noticeable enough that I'm like, well, I'm here. I might as well start reading these tips and tricks that they have on the screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I've been playing this week.
I mentioned Fortnite earlier. Talk about it brief. I've not been playing a lot of Fortnite this season. It's kind of not clicking with me. But as part of the Bungie showcase that happened a couple days ago, Destiny 2 is now available on the Epic Games Store, and as a result, in concert with Steam as well. So it's not like exclusive or anything, because I know how stupid people get about Epic Games Store for no reason. But as a side effect of that, Bungie is partnering with Epic to do 2 crossovers. The first one is Fortnite. So there are Fortnite armor sets in Destiny, which all 3 of them look really good. And then there are 3 Destiny characters in Fortnite, which is Zavala, Ikora, and the Exo Stranger. And then there's like a Destiny Sparrow in there too. There's a bunch of ghosts. There's a bunch of like Destiny swords and stuff in there. They're really well done both ways. I think both the Fortnite and the Destiny teams really nailed making the other game's stuff look right in the respective other game. I think they did really well. And the Destiny armor sets they don't scream Fortnite. It's just like, here's a cool looking set, and if you kind of know what these characters are, it's like, oh yeah, that's that kind of famous character from Fortnite. The other one is Fall Guys, which is not out yet. I think that comes out in like a week or two. I'm really curious to see what that looks like. That seems like a really wild one. But someone, I don't know if it's Bungie or Epic or whoever, they also put, so probably the most famous PvP mode in Destiny is Control. It's just your kind of 3-point zone capture and control mode. And one of the more, I guess, infamous maps is Javelin 4. Someone ported both the control mode and that map into Fortnite. So you can go play Destiny's control mode on that map in Fortnite. And at the beginning of your match, you pick one of the 3 main classes, so Hunter, Warlock, and Titan. And once you get enough kills overall, you get to use one of that class's supers in the game. Nice. So they did a pretty cool job of kind of crossing and mixing and matching stuff between the two games. Without, and we talked about the battle bus being in Destiny, but it just looks like a broken down blue bus with like the bracers on the front and the back. So like, if you've seen it before, you're like, oh, that's kind of fun. If you haven't, you just pass by it and it just kind of looks like trash.
I wouldn't have recognized it because I don't pay attention to. I know it has the bus, but like it was just my son. Like I even told him, I was like, all right, where is this bus? And he was pointing me in the direction of it. I'm like, all right, now that you've pointed it out, yeah, it looks like the bus. But other than that, it's like it's a bus.
It's a pile of trash. Yeah, like they did a pretty good. They did a pretty good job for both of those. It's pretty impressive. Last game I played, 2 Point Campus. I tried to play a bunch of that. I 3-starred the night school, which turned out to be more difficult than I thought, because one of the things I like about 2 Point Campus is for starting with the culinary school and going forward, most of the schools have like competition events. You can do regular events at like the student union and the social area and stuff like that, where it's like we're putting on a concert or a movie night or something like that. But in the night one and the culinary school, you have larger events that are kind of testing how good your students are overall. So the culinary school has like a bake-off, and then it's like a citywide one and a statewide one, and the celebrity one is like the highest one. And the night school one has a jousting competition. So it's like, you have a city one and then like a state one, and then the highest end one that I had the most trouble with was where you're jousting against the bad guy from the other school that sends you knights to assault your school. You're doing a jousting competition against him. And that took me quite a few tries and kind of massaging my school to have the students be the best they could to get that one done. So sadly, I have left night school behind. And as soon as you 1-star night school, you get 2 campuses to choose from next. I'll talk about the first one I picked in a minute, but the second one is like a sports-based school, and I didn't choose that one first because the other one, you start, the thing says you are cursed by an actual curse, and you start with 0 money, and I'm like, all right, well, let's try this one, because that seems like it might be one of the levels from 2 Point Hospital that I didn't like, where it's like you only get paid once you do this this specific thing, and I was hoping it wasn't going to be that. It's not. You're at a magical school, which is very wink and nod, a very famous transphobe writer's world. Like, for example, in those terrible books, that you have the Death Eaters, and in this game, you have the Life Munchers, which is sort of like wink. So
you got a Daniel Hooter over there.
Yeah, it's like your main type of class are dark arts. So it's very wink and nod towards that book series. But the hard part about it is you start and you have a school that's largely functional at the beginning. Like, it has all your dorms and the library and classrooms and stuff like that, and a whole bunch of teachers. But a witch that runs another school has cursed you and has taken all your money, and the main thing is trying to teach you is how to take out a loan inside of the game at the beginning. So, which is a thing that I had forgotten from the previous game. So it has you start off by taking out a loan, and honestly, if you have been doing okay enough to get 1 stars in this game, you're going to be fine enough to pay back that first loan and kind of continue to build your school. So nothing too super difficult. But I'm struggling with getting a 1 star in that school because I can't get all of my students' grades up enough. So I have to start focusing on that and start focusing a little bit more on student happiness, because I think that's where I'm really falling down at the moment. But so far, that one has been pretty manageable. I appreciate that the kind of the invasion mechanic is still carrying over from night school, so a bunch of the life munchers are coming over to assault your students, and just like the night school, your janitors are squirting them with a super soaker, and then once they get squirted, they like dejectedly wander off campus with leaving puddles behind them. It's pretty good. But this school, out of all of them, doesn't seem like it is radically different. Like, the night school was largely a school that took place outside, so you weren't building buildings, you were building a bunch of stuff on the kind of the greens and the campus grounds. And this one seems to be primarily inside. So I feel like the sports school will probably be more different. A lot of the loading screens have
cheese ball.
Yeah, cheese ball, and you have like the big arena, and you have a bunch of like outside track and like tennis courts and stuff like that. So
I wonder if that's going to be where like your only source of income is how good your sports teams are doing.
That's been part of my concern of are you going to make it like America, and your football team better be good so you can get tax money?
You better have that high school league going.
That's right. Get them in there early.
Yeah. Get paid while they don't. That's the rule.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. That's right. But yes, I'm still having fun with it. I think my concerns from last week are continuing. Of kind of, I miss the flow around the location that 2 Point Hospital had, but I think it's becoming a little bit clearer now that I'm starting to get more things I can do in the school. I think that flow is starting to become a little bit more interesting. But it's good. And if you liked 2 Point Hospital, 2 Point Campus is kind of more of a good thing, but they didn't just, photocopy it and put a different coat of paint on it. I appreciate that they went for something pretty significantly different. And I think it largely works so far. I do. The only frustration I have is the game runs really well on PS5 until you get to like the largest size of campus and all of the students are there. That's when it starts hitching a little bit here and there. Nothing where it's like running at 15 frames or anything, but there is a kind of a noticeable performance dip. So hopefully I don't think they've put out a patch for this game yet, so hopefully they'll put something out to maybe fix some of those issues. But it's great. I highly recommend it. It's on Game Pass. Go play it. That's all I've been playing this week. Let's take a break. All right, let's pull up show notes here. Close YouTube. Go. Okay, are you guys ready?
Yes.
Sure.
All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of August 28th, 2022. Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed comes out on PS5, series consoles, and PC. I think this is just the current gen version of the second Destroy All Humans game, which came out a couple months ago, I think. Those games have been reviewing fine. I don't think they kind of fixed some of the issues that those games needed, but you're probably only picking them up if you loved them in the first place anyway, so me talking about this is probably not for you. Immortality comes out on series consoles, PC, iOS, and Android. This is Game Pass day and date. This is Sam Barlow's team's new game. Her Story and Telling Lies is his previous stuff. The kind of investigation FMV games. I'm really interested in this one. This one is a famous actress has gone missing, and you're kind of scrubbing through previous movies and behind-the-scenes stuff of 3 movies that she made to try and find out where she's gone and what's happened to her. It looks really, really cool. I'm happy to see that team doing more stuff. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Cowabunga Collection comes out on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series Consoles, Switch, and PC. It says 13 games in it, stretching from the Game Boy to Genesis to Super NES. Like, it's pretty much all of the games. Both the Western version and the Japanese versions too. And this is kind of the standard. I think Digital Eclipse did this one, so it has the usual like behind the scenes interviews and artwork and rewind and speed runs and kind of all that stuff. So if you finally want to beat that Ninja Turtles game with the dam on it on the NES, now you can finally do it. Because man, that level just still sucks. Jeez. Ooblets comes out on the Xbox One, Series Consoles, and PC. This is that kind of cute farming game that people seem to really like.
I hadn't paid attention to that and thought it was an Oblongs video game.
That would be really weird.
Like, oh, that'll be. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like, oh, that'll be interesting.
15 years after the Oblongs went off. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be really weird. Speaking of really weird, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R comes out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series, Consoles, Switch, and PC. I am really not the dude to talk about JoJo's in any interesting or educated way. So you probably know if you're into this or not, or if you're like me and you look at JoJo's and be like, I would probably enjoy that, but boy, there's a lot of that to get through.
It's a very daunting mountain to look at.
Yeah, that and One Piece are both daunting mountain. Not impossible, but I know JoJo's also has some kind of quality dips in there as well, so have not gotten into that. Lego Brawls comes out on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series Console, Switch, and PC. This is kind of a neat thing where you make your own fighter, and then you play against other people in kind of a Smash Brothers. They're now called platform fighters. You play against them in kind of a platform fighting game like that. It seems pretty neat. It seems I like the Lego games are branching out into more things.
Mm-hmm.
What were you gonna say, man?
I keep referring to them as arena fighters for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah. Next up, The Last of Us Part 1 comes out on PS5. They're remastering and re-releasing this yet again for what feels like the 15th time. If you haven't played it by now, I don't know why you should. Both of them are out. You should play it. I'm clearly not a fan of these games, so I'm not going to sit here and sell them to you. Inscription comes out on PS4 and PS5. This is the card-based roguelike Wink that takes place in... It's a Devolver Digital published thing, if I remember correctly. People seem to really love this. I have not yet given it a shot. I know I will like this. I just haven't gotten around to it yet because it's largely only been on PC. And like we talked about in Game Club, I will play something on my PC, but I will not enjoy it. So I will. That's not where I'm going to play my stuff.
I say people loved it so much they couldn't wait to spoil it for everybody.
Thanks, Internet. I really love it. Thanks, everyone. And last but not least, a game that's almost impossible to spoil, Zero Escape Zero Time Dilemma comes out on Xbox One.
Explain that tree of events that happens.
If only I could, and I have played it. So for anyone that doesn't know, this is the third Zero Escape game. It's 999, then Virtue's Last Reward, which is the best one, and then Zero Time Dilemma, which is fine. It is the end of that trilogy, and then that guy went off to go make other games that are exactly like this, like the AI Selenium games, which I still haven't started playing yet, but I know I would like those too.
But that's also on Game Pass.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, AI Selenium. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have heard both of those games are very good, and I have not had the time to start them yet. That's all our releases. I don't have any news stories this week because I didn't really want to talk about the industry because everything is kind of doing what it usually does, and anything that got announced this week is like Sony announced their new controller but doesn't have a lot of details and did not have a price associated with it, so I don't really care yet.
And everybody automatically saying, oh, it's going to be $275, and everyone seemingly being okay with that price tag. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you people?
Why
I don't even want to pay $100 for a controller.
No, why is that a number that you're okay with? God,
yeah,
that's more than half of a console.
Gamescom opening night was this week. Gamescom is going on still, I believe.
Yeah, opening night was...
A lot of stuff got talked about there. And don't get me wrong, I might have to play an MMO now. Thanks.
Now that there's a spice-based MMO.
You know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, Gamescom was fine. A lot of the stuff that got announced there was either kind of a little too thin on details for us to talk too much about, like the Dune MMO, or it's stuff we've kind of seen for a while, like Callisto Protocol they showed off again. It's like, yeah, cool, like, that's still looking the same, and it's not out yet, so... Or they're showing off a game based on a book series written by a horrible transphobe, so we're not talking about it on the show anyway. You should support trans youth, especially, and go donate some money, instead of spending your $70 or $300 on that.
Jesus, yeah, I saw that about the $300 one having like a 72 early access window. Like, what is wrong with you people?
If you're willing to spend $300 on something Harry Potter adjacent, I would encourage you to go spend that $300 on a local trans group in your area. They can do so much more with your $300 than J.K. Rowling can to buy another giant house that has a Wikipedia page. So please, I usually don't encourage you to spend your money in different ways when it comes to video games, but you should probably not support that game in general. But that's our episode this week. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page, including a link to the Discord server. I'm so excited about Discord. I'm tripping over my own tongue. You should join our Discord server. It's a great time. Highly recommend it. And don't forget to visit the YouTube channel. Even if we don't live stream everything, we are putting out video versions of everything on YouTube, so you can go check all that stuff out. If you want to see our beautiful faces, and especially for TVGP and Pup, I'm putting a lot more gameplay on the screen.
Yourself.
Hey.
I mean, or if you want to keep it a mystery.
That's right. What do we look like? Who even knows? It's just three VTubers here.
Giant? That's the question.
That's right. Yes, whomst amongst us? We could just be three Unreal Engine 3 or Unreal Engine 5 VTubers. Who knows?
Don't think I haven't wanted to float the idea of coming up with a VTuber thing to throw up for one episode and just never acknowledge it.
I'm a dragon for an episode and be like, what? That's a totally normal episode. You check all that out.
I said maybe that'll be an April Fool or Halloween thing.
I'm going to get that mascot from the first episode of Futurama when he goes to the moon. Or the second episode.
That's right. So you can check all of that.
Beer bottle in your eye.
Yeah.
With.
You can check all of that out over on the YouTube channel. You can support us over at patreon.com/E1M1.
Ones equals numbers.
We talked about all the cool stuff you can get at the beginning of the show. Thank you for your financial support. If you support us over there, it helps the show keep running. Seemingly everything keeps getting more expensive every month and every year. That includes hosting, which is not great. So if you want to help offset those costs, I particularly appreciate it over on Patreon. If you can't support us financially, totally understand. As I said, everything's getting more expensive. If you'd like to support us other ways, please tell a friend. Please share stuff on social media. Rate this show 5 stars wherever you listen. Subscribe, like, and comment on YouTube. I know all of that stuff are various memes, but all of those things genuinely really do help for shows. Unless you have 50 million listeners, but then you're probably doing HelloFresh ads anyway, so which we're not going to do. So you can support us all of those different ways. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Refreshing water. All right, Nimp, what are your titles?
I have Hugs, Not Bugs.
Yep. It's
Very Brown. My next 2 are riding the razor's edge.
Okay.
Make It Big and Purple.
Uh-huh.
And Life Munchers.
Okay.
That's all.
Moon, what do you have?
Well, first I have to say that this White Peach Sour Energy drink is horrific.
That's my favorite one. Now I'm really curious to hear what you think about the blue one, because that was my least favorite one. And that's my favorite one.
The episode you were not on. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So he loves the super berry one. Yeah.
Wild. All right. Interesting.
The lemon and lime one was delicious too.
Anyway.
And
me, I had all of them, and I'm like, they're okay.
They're all fine.
I am the sacrificial lamb.
Mm-hmm.
Hugs, not bugs. Rage. The whole thing is real wild and spice-based MMO.
I gotta write down spice-based MMO. I have spice-based MMO, Hugs Not Bugs, and The Blocky Boys. It sounds...
We gotta make it big and purple.
No, veto. It sounds like Hugs Not Bugs is probably our leader here. Yeah.
If we're not gonna engorge the show, then we definitely need to make it Hugs Not Bugs.
Standards and Practices is writing you an email right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I will circle Hugs Not Bugs.
Even though you are clinically correct in your terminology.
That's correct. Oh, man.
That's right, folks.
Moon's making himself cry
doing
here.
Emotional damage to Boston.
That's right. Just doing editing damage to me.
Yes. You can't bleep that out. You can't.
No, I'm not bleeping it out. It would probably be funnier if I bleeped it out, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
Hugs Not Bugs.
Yep, I'm good.
Oh, man. All right. Got one ready. Moon is deep in thought. Is it harder?
I got something.
Okay. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 775 for August 29th, 2022. Hugs, not bugs.
Embrace the world.
Everyone line up for the Care Bear stare.
All right, thank you very much, everyone, for listening and watching. We greatly appreciate it. We hope we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.